The phone rang at 8:30 on a Tuesday morning. I almost didn't answer because I didn't recognize the number. But something made me pick up. My mother's voice came through the speaker, sweet and warm, almost unrecognizable from the cold tone she'd used 3 years ago when she told me not to bother inviting them to my wedding. She'd seen my Instagram post. The midnight blue Porsche 911 Turbo S parked outside my downtown loft. Her exact words were, "We need to talk. Family meeting tomorrow at the old house." I agreed to come, but I was already planning something. I set the phone down on my kitchen counter and just stared at it for a moment. My hands were shaking slightly, and I wasn't sure if it was anger or something else entirely. Emily walked in from the bedroom, still in her scrubs from her overnight shift at the hospital. She's a nurse in the cardiac unit, works 3 12-hour shifts a week, and she's incredible at what she does. We met 5 years ago when I was visiting a friend who'd had a minor heart procedure. She was his nurse, and I asked her out before he was even discharged. Best decision I ever made. "Who was that?" she asked, pouring herself a cup of coffee. "My mother," I said. Emily's hand froze halfway to her mouth. "Your mother? As in Linda? Your mother who hasn't spoken to you in 3 years? That's the one." She set the coffee down carefully. What did she want? "To talk. Family meeting tomorrow. At the house." Emily studied my face. She knows me better than anyone. "Are you going to go?" "Yeah," I said. "I think I need to." I stood up and walked to the floor-to-ceiling windows that overlooked downtown. My loft is on the 23rd floor of a converted warehouse building. I can see the whole city from here. Cost me $1.2 million, paid in cash. 3 years ago, I couldn't have imagined living in a place like this. "They saw the Porsche," I said. "Ah." Emily came to stand beside me. "The Instagram post. I didn't think they'd see it. I made a new account. Didn't block them because I honestly didn't think they'd bother looking for me. But Travis, my older brother, must have found it. And of course, he told them." Let me back up and explain how we got here. I grew up in a middle-class suburb in Ohio. My father, Frank, worked as an insurance broker. My mother, Linda, sold real estate. We weren't rich, but we were comfortable. I have one older brother, Travis, who's 38 now. I'm 33. From the time I can remember, Travis was the golden child. Everything he did was celebrated. Everything I did was acceptable at best, disappointing at worst. When Travis got into college, my parents paid for everything. All 4 years, plus his apartment, his car, his spending money. When he decided to go to dental school, they paid for that too. $200,000 total. When my turn came, I got into the state university with a partial scholarship. I needed about $15,000 a year to cover the rest. I asked my parents for help. My father said, "Son, we've already invested heavily in Travis's education. You're going to have to figure this out yourself." So I did. I went to community college for 2 years instead, saved money by living at home and working 3 jobs. Then I transferred to state school and took out loans for the rest. I graduated with $42,000 in debt. Travis became an orthodontist. Married a woman named Courtney, whose family had money. My parents loved her immediately. They had 3 kids pretty quickly. My parents doted on those grandchildren. I'd see the Facebook posts, the photos of birthday parties and holidays, all of them together. When I proposed to Emily, I was 29 years old. I'd been working as a junior software developer at a small tech company. I wasn't making much, maybe $55,000 a year. But Emily and I were happy. We saved up $12,000 for a small wedding. Nothing fancy, just something simple and meaningful. I invited my parents 6 months in advance, called them both, told them how important it was to me that they be there. My mother's response was, "We'll see." Travis and Courtney are planning a European vacation that month. 2 months before the wedding, I called again to confirm. My mother said, "Joe, we've decided not to come. It's just not a priority for us. Travis needs us to watch his kids that weekend." I was stunned. "Mom, it's my wedding. I understand that, but Travis really needs our help. You understand." My father got on the phone. "Son, you have to understand. Travis has a real career, a real future. We need to support him." I hung up feeling like I'd been punched in the stomach. I told Emily what they'd said. She held me while I cried. And then she said something I'll never forget. We don't need them there to make our marriage valid. We have each other. That's enough. We got married in a small ceremony at a botanical garden. Emily's family came. Her parents, her sister Angela, her aunts and uncles. My best friend Marcus came. Some coworkers came. 40 people total. It was beautiful. My parents didn't send a card, didn't send a gift, didn't acknowledge it happened at all. Travis didn't come either. He texted me the day before, saying he was too busy with work. After the wedding, I made a decision. I deleted my parents' numbers from my phone, removed them from all social media, cut them out of my life completely. If they didn't think my wedding was important enough to attend, then they weren't important enough to be in my life. Emily supported the decision completely. And then something incredible happened. I threw myself into work. I was angry, hurt, and determined to prove to myself that I didn't need them. I started teaching myself advanced coding at night, studying frameworks, languages, systems I didn't know. I worked 12, 14-hour days. About a year after the wedding, I developed a proprietary inventory management system. It was revolutionary for small to medium-sized businesses. My company was excited about it. We started licensing it to other companies. 2 years after my wedding, my small company was acquired by a major corporation for $87 million. And because I'd negotiated equity as part of my original employment, I owned 11% of the company. My payout, after taxes, was $9.5 million. I was 31 years old. Emily and I paid off our student loans, our car loans, everything. We bought this loft. I bought the Porsche 6 months ago. Emily kept working because she loves being a nurse. I started doing consulting work, investing, and honestly, just enjoying life. I started a new Instagram account a few months ago. Posted occasionally. Didn't think much of it. 3 days ago, I posted a photo of the Porsche parked outside my building. The caption was simple: hard work pays off, grateful for this journey. Somehow, Travis found it and told my parents. And now, suddenly, after 3 years of complete silence, they wanted to talk. "What are you thinking?" Emily asked, bringing me back to the present. "I'm thinking I want to see if they've changed, if they actually care about me, or if they just care about the money." Emily nodded slowly. "How are you going to figure that out?" An idea was forming in my mind. "I'm going to test them." "How?" I turned to look at her. "I'm going to tell them I'm getting divorced, that you're leaving me, and taking half of everything." Emily's eyes widened. "What?" "Not really. I'll get Marcus to draw up fake divorce papers. I'll bring them to the meeting. Tell them I'm about to lose half my money. I want to see how they react. If they still want a relationship with me when they think I'm about to be broke again." Emily was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "That's either brilliant or completely insane. Maybe both." She smiled, but it didn't quite reach her eyes. "Joe, there's something I need to tell you." My heart skipped. "What's wrong?" "Nothing's wrong. It's just timing is weird." She took a deep breath. "I'm pregnant." The world seemed to stop. "What?" 8 weeks. I found out yesterday. I was going to tell you last night, but you were so stressed about work, and I wanted to wait for the right moment. I pulled her into my arms. "This is the right moment. This is the perfect moment." She hugged me back, but I could feel tension in her shoulders. "I'm scared about telling your family. If they know about the baby, it might complicate things. They don't need to know yet. This is about us." But even as I said it, I felt a surge of anger. My parents had ignored my wedding, and now they were reaching out right when I was about to become a father. The timing felt cruel. "I'm still going to the meeting," I said, "and I'm still going to test them with the fake divorce papers." Emily pulled back to look at me. "Are you sure? I need to know the truth. I need to know if they only care about money." She nodded. "Okay, but I'm not coming with you. I wouldn't ask you to." That night, I called Marcus. He's been my best friend since college. He's a lawyer now. Works at a mid-sized firm downtown. "You want me to do what?" he asked when I explained my plan. "Fake divorce papers. Make them look real. Show that Emily would get half of everything in the settlement. About 4.7 million. Joe, this could backfire spectacularly. I know, but I need to do this. He sighed. Fine. Give me until tomorrow morning. I'll have something ready. The next morning, Marcus brought the papers by. They looked legitimate. Official letterhead. Legal language, the works. Emily's name, my name, division of assets, clearly laid out. If anyone actually reads these carefully and knows what to look for, they'll figure out it's fake, Marcus warned. The firm name is made up, but at a glance, they'll look real. That's all I need. I kissed Emily goodbye. She was staying home, catching up on sleep from her overnight shift. The drive to my parents' house was 3 hours. I decided to take the Porsche. I wanted them to see it. Wanted them to see what I'd accomplished without them. The drive gave me time to think. Time to remember. I was 12 years old when my parents missed my 8th grade graduation. Travis was 18 and had his college orientation that same day. They chose to drive him 6 hours to his university instead of staying for my ceremony. My grandmother came instead. She was the only one who showed up for me. When I was 16, I wanted to go on a school trip to Washington, D.C. It cost $300. I asked my parents if they could help. My father said, "That's too expensive, Joe. We can't afford that right now." The same month, they bought Travis a used Honda Accord for $7,000. His high school graduation present. I worked that summer mowing lawns and saved up enough to go on the trip myself. The pattern continued for years. Travis got, I worked for. Travis was celebrated. I was overlooked. I told myself it didn't matter. I told myself I'd prove I could make it without their help. And I had. The GPS told me I was 10 minutes from my parents' house. My heart started beating faster. I hadn't been back here in over 3 years. Hadn't seen them, hadn't spoken to them, hadn't even driven through the neighborhood. When I pulled onto Maple Street, I saw the house. Same split-level ranch they'd owned for 30 years. But it looked different now. The paint was fading. The lawn needed work. The shutters were crooked. It looked tired. My father's old Toyota Camry was in the driveway. It had to be at least 15 years old. I parked the Porsche right in front of the house, prominently visible from the street. A few neighbors were outside. They stared. In this neighborhood, a car like that stood out. I grabbed the folder with the fake divorce papers and walked to the front door. Before I could knock, it opened. My mother stood there, and for a second, I barely recognized her. She looked older, more lines around her eyes. Gray in her hair. She hadn't bothered to color. But her smile was bright, too bright. "Joe," she pulled me into a hug. "Oh, I've missed you so much." The hug felt wrong, forced, like she was acting in a play. "Hi, Mom." My father appeared behind her. He shook my hand stiffly. "Son, good to see you." "Good to see you, Dad." They led me inside. The house looked exactly the same. Same furniture, same carpet, same beige walls. But everything was more worn now. The couch sagged. The carpet was stained. The whole place felt stuck in time. What struck me most were the photos. Every wall, every surface, covered in frames. Travis at his dental school graduation. Travis and Courtney's wedding. The grandkids at every age. Birthday parties, holidays, beach vacations. Not a single photo of me. Not one picture from my wedding. Nothing. It was like I'd been erased from the family history. We sat in the living room. Mom in the old floral armchair. Dad on the recliner. Me on the couch that had been there since I was a kid. The springs were broken. I sank too far into the cushions. "So," my mother started, that bright smile still plastered on her face. "Tell us everything. How have you been?" "Fine." "And Emily? How is she?" "She's good. Still nursing." "That's wonderful." Mom glanced at Dad. "We saw your car outside." "That's quite a vehicle." "It is." "Must have cost a fortune," Dad said. I didn't respond. "Travis told us you came into some money," Mom continued. "He said your company was sold?" "Something like that." "That must have been exciting." Her eyes were hungry. I recognized that look. It was the same look she used to get when she was about to close a real estate deal. "What do you do for work now?" Dad asked. "Consulting, software development, various projects." "That must pay well." Mom leaned forward. "We're so proud of you, Joe, making something of yourself." The words felt hollow. Where was this pride when I graduated college? When I got my first job? When I got married? "Thanks." The doorbell rang. Mom stood up quickly. Too quickly. "Oh, that must be them." "Them?" I asked. She didn't answer, just went to the door. I heard voices in the hallway. Children's voices. And then Travis walked into the living room with Courtney and their 3 kids. My brother looked exactly the same. Tall, confident, expensive clothes. He wore a watch that probably cost $15,000. His haircut was perfect. His smile was smug. Courtney looked like she always did. Blonde, thin, designer, everything. She gave me a look that could freeze water. Their kids ran into the room, loud and destructive. The oldest was 9, then 7, then 4. They immediately started grabbing things, touching everything, jumping on furniture. "Travis." Mom's face lit up in a way it never had when I walked in. "I'm so glad you could make it." Travis kissed her cheek. "Wouldn't miss it." He turned to me. "Hey, little brother. Long time no see." "Travis." "Nice car outside." His smile widened. "Must be a rental, right?" "No." "Huh, good for you." He sat in my father's recliner. Dad had to move to a dining room chair they brought in. It was a power move. Travis taking the throne. Courtney sat next to me on the couch but kept as much distance as possible. The kids continued their chaos. One of them knocked over my water glass on the coffee table. Water spilled everywhere. Nobody apologized. Mom just laughed. "Kids will be kids." She brought photo albums out. Old pictures of when Travis and I were young. Most of the photos featured Travis prominently. Me in the background, or cut off at the edge of frames. "Remember this?" Mom pointed to a picture of Travis's high school graduation. I wasn't in the photo. "We've missed you so much, Joe," she said, but her eyes kept darting to Travis, looking for approval. Dad cleared his throat. "Family is everything. We're glad you're here." Travis hadn't said much. He just watched me with this calculating expression, like he was sizing me up. "So, Joe," Dad started, and I could hear the shift in his tone. This was why I was here. "Travis mentioned you sold some company stock?" "Something like that. We saw your apartment building online," Mom added. "Very fancy area downtown. I'm comfortable." Courtney spoke for the first time. "Must be nice. Some of us work for our money." Travis shot her a look. "Courtney, be nice. Joe's always been lucky." Lucky. That word again. As if I hadn't worked 3 jobs through college. As if I hadn't built something valuable. Luck. Dad cleared his throat again. "Joe, we asked you here because we need to discuss something important." Here it comes, I thought. "Family helps family," Mom said. "Your mother and I are in a difficult situation," Dad continued. "Financially." They explained it all. The reverse mortgage on the house, payments too high, medical bills from Dad's surgery last year, credit card debt, all of it adding up. "We owe $87,000 total," Dad said. "If we don't get help, we could lose the house." Mom started crying, actual tears. "We're your parents, Joe. We raised you. We gave you everything. Everything except support. Everything except showing up." Travis jumped in. "I've already helped them with $40,000. My practice is struggling right now. Kids are expensive. Courtney and I can't do more." Courtney nodded. "We're stretched thin as it is. But you," Travis looked at me, "you hit the jackpot. You can help, easily." They all looked at me, waiting, expecting. "I need to think about it," I said. "Think about what?" Travis stood up. "There are parents." "Joe, please." Mom reached for my hand. "We're desperate." Dad pulled out papers, mortgage documents, medical bills. He spread them on the coffee table. I leaned forward to look. Something didn't add up. The mortgage problem started 4 years ago. Before I had money, the medical bills were real, but only totaled about $12,000, not the amount they claimed. "Where did the rest of the debt come from?" I asked. Silence. "If you want my money, I need to know." Travis stood up. That's none of your business. If you want my money, it is my business. More silence. Then Mom broke. We helped Travis buy his practice building. We co-signed the loan. My heart sank. How much? $250,000, Dad said quietly. I looked at Travis. You're in debt. It was an investment, he said defensively. How much do you owe? He didn't answer. Travis? I pressed. The practice is going through a rough patch, but it'll turn around. I understood now. They'd bet everything on Travis. Again, and he was failing. And now they expected me to bail them all out. This wasn't about reconciliation. This was a rescue mission. And I was the lifeboat they'd ignored until they were drowning. The kids were getting louder. One of them was bouncing on the couch next to me. Another was pulling books off the shelf. The youngest was crying about something. Courtney didn't even look at them. She was staring at me with this expression of barely concealed contempt mixed with desperation. Can we talk specifics? Dad asked. We need to know if you can help. This was my moment. I reached into my bag and pulled out the folder Marcus had prepared. I can't help you, I said. I'm getting divorced. The room went completely silent. Even the kids stopped for a second. I opened the folder and pulled out the fake divorce papers. Put them on the coffee table, right on top of the mortgage documents. Emily's leaving me. Mom's hand went to her mouth. Oh, Joe. No. She found out about the money, hired a lawyer. The settlement will give her half of everything. Dad picked up the papers, started reading. I'll be lucky to have $2 million left after it's all done, I continued. Legal fees, asset division, all of it. I watched them carefully. This was the test. Would they care about me? Or just the money? Mom's first words were, "Can you delay the divorce until after you help us?" My stomach dropped. Surely you can access some funds before the settlement? Dad added, still reading the papers. Travis picked them up from Dad. He scanned them quickly. Too quickly. His eyes narrowed. This is convenient timing, little brother, he said. Courtney leaned over to look. She studied them longer than Travis had. Her expression changed. He's lying, she said. Look at these papers. They're fake. Travis looked closer. She's right. This isn't a real law firm. The address doesn't exist. My heart started pounding. You were testing us? Travis threw the papers at me. They scattered across the floor. Joe! Mom stood up. How could you? This is incredibly disrespectful, Dad said. The kids started crying because everyone was shouting. Something inside me snapped. Disrespectful? I stood up. You want to talk about respect? You didn't come to my wedding. We explained that. Mom started. No. You chose Travis over me. Like you always have. The words were pouring out now. Years of hurt. You missed my 8th grade graduation for his college orientation. You wouldn't give me $300 for a school trip but bought him a $7,000 car. You paid for his college, his dental school, his everything. I had to pay for it all myself, Travis interrupted. I was the better son. I was worth investing in. The words hung in the air like poison. And how's that investment doing? I shot back. You're broke and begging. Travis moved toward me. Dad jumped up and got between us. Stop it, both of you. Courtney had grabbed the kids. She was taking them upstairs, away from the fight. I came here to see if you'd changed, I said, looking at my parents. You haven't. You only called because you need money, and you only succeeded by accident. Dad's face was red. You were lucky, that's all. I succeeded because I had to. You gave me no choice. Mom was crying for real now. Not the manipulative tears from earlier. We're still your family. No, you're not. Not where it counts. I grabbed my bag and headed for the door. If you walk out, Mom called after me. You're not our son anymore. I turned back. I haven't been your son for 3 years. You made that clear at my wedding. Wait. It was Travis. He looked different now. The smugness was gone. He looked scared. You don't understand. It's worse than they told you. I stopped. What? The practice isn't just failing. He took a breath. I'm being sued. Malpractice. 3 patients. Dad closed his eyes. Travis, don't. He needs to know. Travis looked at me. My malpractice insurance lapsed. If I lose, I'm personally liable for $2.4 million. The room spun. We need $400,000, Mom said quietly, to settle all 3 cases before they go to trial. Not 87,000. 400,000. You lied about the amount? I couldn't believe it. We knew you wouldn't help if we told the truth, Dad said. You're right, I wouldn't have. I walked to the door again. They'll come after Mom and Dad next, Travis shouted. They co-signed everything. My practice loans, the building mortgage, all of it. They'll lose the house, their retirement, everything. My hand was on the doorknob. I stood there, frozen. This was worse than I thought. They weren't just broke. They were facing complete financial ruin. And my parents, who'd always put Travis first, had tied themselves to his sinking ship. A part of me, the part that was still their son, couldn't walk away and let them lose everything. But the bigger part of me, the part they'd ignored and dismissed, knew that giving them money wouldn't fix anything. It would just delay the inevitable. I'll think about it, I finally said. Give me 24 hours. We don't have 24 hours, Travis said. The settlement deadline is in 3 days. Then you should have called sooner. I opened the door. Joe, please? Dad's voice cracked. We're begging you. Mom literally dropped to her knees. Please don't leave us like this. I'll pay you back, Travis said. I swear. Once the practice recovers. With what? Your failing practice? Courtney came back downstairs. We have something you want. I turned. What? We know about Emily's pregnancy. Everything stopped. How could they possibly know? Emily's sister Angela is a nurse at the same hospital, Travis said. She mentioned it to Courtney at their book club last week. My blood ran cold. Emily had told Angela in confidence. Congratulations, by the way, Courtney said. The words were sweet, but her tone was acid. What does Emily's pregnancy have to do with anything? I asked. Kids are expensive, Travis said. You'll need family support. We want to be grandparents, Joe. Mom stood up from her knees. We want to be there for you this time. You have 3 grandchildren already. We want to be there for your child too. Help us now, Dad said, and we'll be there for you. Babysitting, helping with costs, being a real family. We can all be together again, Mom added. I understood what was happening. This was extortion. Not with threats, but with something I actually wanted. The promise of family. The promise they'd be there for my child when they hadn't been there for me. This is manipulation, I said. No, Travis replied. It's negotiation. Think of your child growing up without grandparents, Mom said. Without aunts, uncles, cousins. Do you want that? Part of me did want that. I wanted my child to have what I never had. A full family. People who showed up. But not these people. Not people who only appeared when they needed something. I'll give you $50,000, I said. That's it, that's all. That doesn't even cover 1 lawsuit, Travis exploded. Then declare bankruptcy. Start over. We're 70 years old, Dad yelled. We can't start over. Travis will lose his dental license, Mom added. Maybe he should, I said coldly. If he's committing malpractice. It was 3 minor errors, Travis defended. Blown way out of proportion by money-hungry patients. My phone rang. Emily's name on the screen. I need to take this, I said and walked outside. Joe? Emily's voice was shaking. What's wrong? Someone broke into our apartment. My heart stopped. What? Are you okay? Where are you? I'm at Angela's house. But Joe, they didn't steal anything. What do you mean? They left a message. On our bedroom mirror, in red lipstick. What did it say? Pay, or everyone suffers. The world tilted. I looked through the living room window. Travis was on his phone. He had this expression. Something between guilty and satisfied. I'm coming home, I told Emily. Stay at Angela's. Don't go back to the apartment. I ran back inside. Did you threaten my wife? Travis looked up from his phone. I don't know what you're talking about. Someone broke into my apartment. Dad stood up. Joe, calm down. Was it you? I grabbed Travis by his shirt. Get off me, he pushed me back. Answer me. It must have been the people I owe money to, Travis said. They're not patient. What people? The malpractice isn't the only problem. Travis straightened his shirt. I borrowed money from some private lenders. to cover practice losses before they got too bad. Loan sharks? Investors. How much? Travis hesitated. Another 200,000. Mom gasped. Travis, you said that was handled. It will be. Travis looked at me. Once Joe helps us. Those people broke into my home. They're motivated. They know about your money. If you don't pay them, they'll keep escalating. The truth hit me like a truck. Travis had given them Emily's address. He'd put my pregnant wife in danger to pressure me into paying his debts. This wasn't family. This was a criminal enterprise. I grabbed Travis by his expensive shirt again. This time, Dad couldn't pull us apart fast enough. You put Emily in danger? She's pregnant? They weren't going to hurt her. Travis tried to pull away. Just scare her. Just scare you into helping. She's carrying my child. Mom stood up. Travis, what have you done? What I had to. Travis finally broke free. Joe wasn't taking us seriously. He came here with fake divorce papers. Like, this is all a game. This isn't a game, I said. These are people's lives. Exactly, Travis pointed at me. Our lives. Mom and Dad are going to lose everything because you're too selfish to help. Me? Selfish? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Dad got between us again. Everyone needs to calm down. I'm not calming down. Travis sent criminals to my home. I didn't send them, Travis said. They act on their own. I just might have mentioned where you live. And that you had money. And that you were being difficult about helping family. Courtney had been standing in the corner, silent. Now she spoke up. Tell him everything, Travis. Shut up, Courtney. No. She stepped forward. I'm done protecting you. I'm done with all of this. Courtney, Travis warned. She ignored him and looked at me. The malpractice suits aren't minor errors. Travis was high during procedures. The room went silent. What? Dad's face went white. Prescription pills, Courtney continued. Started about 2 years ago. After the practice started failing, he was stressed, couldn't sleep. Doctor prescribed anxiety medication, then pain pills after a minor surgery. He got addicted, started taking them before appointments to steady his nerves. Courtney, stop, Travis begged. He made mistakes, serious mistakes. One patient has permanent nerve damage. Another needs reconstructive surgery. The third has an infection that could have killed her. The lawsuits are completely legitimate. Mom sat down heavily. Oh my God. He could face criminal charges, Courtney said. Not just civil suits, medical malpractice, practicing under the influence. He could go to prison. Dad looked at Travis. Is this true? Travis's face crumbled. I was trying to hold everything together. The practice was failing. We had 3 kids. The mortgage. Private school tuition. I just needed something to take the edge off. You need rehab, I said. I need money, Travis shouted. If I can settle these cases, make them go away, I can get back on track. That's not how addiction works, Courtney said quietly. I've been trying to get him into treatment for a year. He won't go. I looked at my parents. Did you know about this? No, Dad said. He looked destroyed. Mom was crying. We just thought he was stressed. We didn't know. It doesn't matter, Travis said desperately. What matters is fixing this. Joe, if you just give me the money, I can settle everything. I can get help. I can start over. I finally understood. This wasn't about helping family. This was about enabling an addict to avoid consequences. If I gave Travis money, he'd use it, lose it, and be right back here in 6 months asking for more. The cycle would never end. And my parents had enabled him into this situation. They'd given him everything, protected him from every consequence, and taught him that someone would always bail him out. I'm not giving you anything, I said. Mom stood up. Joe, please. You made your choices. All of you. Now deal with the consequences. Dad's voice was hard. What about Emily? Those men Travis owes money to won't just go away. I'll handle that. Without your help. Travis laughed. It was a bitter, broken sound. Handle it how? These aren't people you negotiate with. I'll figure it out. You're signing our death warrant, Travis said. No, you signed your own. I walked to the door. They'll come after you too, Travis called. You think you can just drive away in your fancy car and pretend this isn't your problem? It's not my problem, it's yours. I pulled the door open. Let them try, I said, and walked out. I got in the Porsche, and my hands were shaking so hard I could barely get the key in the ignition. Travis ran out after me. You can't just leave. I started the engine. I'll tell them you won't pay. I'll tell them you're the one with real money. I looked at him through the window. He looked desperate, wild. This wasn't my brother anymore. I didn't know who this was. I drove away. In my rearview mirror, I saw Travis standing in the street, yelling something I couldn't hear. I called Emily. Pack a bag. Don't argue. Get your sister to drive you to the Marriott downtown. The one by the courthouse. Check in. Under your sister's name. I'll meet you there in 3 hours. Joe, what's happening? I'll explain everything. Just please, do what I'm asking. Okay. I drove in silence, my mind racing. I'd thought this was about family dynamics and old resentments. It was actually about addiction and crime and real danger. The highway stretched ahead of me. I pushed the Porsche to 90 miles per hour, wanting to put as much distance between myself and that house as possible. My phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me. Yes? Mr. Joe. It was a man's voice. Calm. Professional. Terrifying. We need to meet. Who is this? Your brother's creditor. We have a proposition for you. I'm not paying his debts. This isn't about payment. This is about partnership. What? Your brother told us about your technical skills. Very impressive. Software development, systems, all of that. My blood went cold. We have some computer systems that need attention. Security systems. Specifically, banking systems. You understand what I'm saying? They wanted me to hack something. They wanted me to commit crimes. I'm not interested. I think you are. See, you do this one job for us. Travis's debt is forgiven. Completely. Everyone walks away happy. And if I refuse? Well, the man's voice stayed calm. Accidents happen. Especially to pregnant women. Cars malfunction. Stairs become slippery. You understand. The line went dead. I pulled over to the side of the highway, put my head on the steering wheel. This was so much worse than I'd thought. I'd come to confront my family about old wounds, and somehow I'd ended up in the middle of something criminal and dangerous. My attempt to test them, to see if they cared, had put Emily and our baby in real danger. I'd gone from the frying pan directly into the fire, and I had no idea how to get out. I sat on the side of the highway for 20 minutes, trying to think. My phone rang again. This time, it was a number I recognized. Marcus. I heard from Emily, he said. She called Angela. Angela called me. What's going on? I explained everything. The meeting, the money, Travis's addiction, the loan sharks, the break-in, the phone call. Joe, you need to go to the police. And tell them what? That my brother's loan sharks threatened me? Yes, exactly that. Marcus. They know where Emily and I live. They broke into our apartment. If I go to the police, what's to stop them from hurting her? Before anyone can do anything. Silence on the other end. I need a better plan, I said. Like what? I don't know yet. I'm supposed to meet Emily at the Marriott. Can you meet us there? I'll be there in an hour. I drove to the hotel. My 3-hour drive back felt like 10 hours. Every car behind me looked suspicious. Every truck passing me could be them. When I pulled into the hotel parking garage, I took a spot near the elevator with good lighting and cameras visible. Emily was already checked in. Room 714. I took the elevator up. Knocked on the door. Angela opened it. Emily was sitting on the bed, her face pale. Are you okay? I went to her immediately. I'm scared, Joe. I know. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Angela looked at me. Emily told me what happened. About the break-in. Who are these people? I don't completely know. Some kind of loan operation that my brother got involved with. We need to call the police, Angela said. I called Marcus. He's on his way. We sat in silence, waiting. I held Emily's hand. It was shaking. I should have never posted that photo, I said. If I hadn't, they never would have called. You'd be safe. This isn't your fault, Emily said. This is Travis's fault. I played right into it. The fake divorce papers. The test. I thought I was so clever. Instead, I made everything worse. Marcus arrived 30 minutes later. He had his laptop and a legal pad. Okay, he sat at the desk. Let's figure this out systematically. Joe, tell me everything about this phone call. Exact words, if you can remember. I repeated the conversation as closely as I could remember. The mention of my skills, the banking systems, the threat about Emily. They want you to commit a crime, Marcus said. Probably hack into financial systems to help them launder money or steal funds. If you do it, you're complicit. They'll have leverage over you forever. You'll never be free. If I don't do it, they'll hurt Emily. We go to the FBI, Marcus said. This crosses into federal jurisdiction. Money laundering, computer fraud, extortion. And in the time it takes the FBI to investigate, what happens to Emily? Marcus didn't have an answer. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. An address downtown. 10 a.m. tomorrow. Come alone. That's the meeting, I said. Don't go, Emily grabbed my arm. Please. If I don't, they'll escalate. Joe, Marcus leaned forward. If you go to that meeting alone, there's no guarantee you'll come back. What choice do I have? Let me make some calls, Marcus said. I know someone at the FBI. Let me reach out quietly. See what they say. While Marcus stepped into the hallway to make calls, Angela went to get us food from a restaurant nearby. Emily and I sat on the bed. I'm so sorry, I said again. Stop apologizing. We'll figure this out. I just wanted to see if they'd changed. I wanted to see if they could be family. I know. Instead, I put you in danger. Put our baby in danger. Emily put my hand on her stomach. We're okay. We're going to be okay. I wanted to believe her. Marcus came back in. I called my contact at the FBI. He wants to meet with us. Tonight? Tonight? He said this is serious enough that it can't wait. He's at the federal building now. He'll wait for us. Emily looked at me. Do you trust him? Marcus? With my life? Then let's go. We drove to the federal building downtown. It was almost 8 p.m. The building was mostly empty. A security guard checked our IDs and directed us to the 4th floor. Agent Strickland was waiting in a conference room. He was maybe 50 years old, gray hair, tired eyes. He shook all our hands and gestured for us to sit. Marcus filled me in on the basics, he said. But I need to hear it directly from you, Joe. Start from the beginning. I told him everything. The Instagram post. The phone call from my mother. The family meeting. Travis's debts. The malpractice. The addiction. The loan operation. The break-in. The phone call. The threat. Agent Strickland took notes the whole time. When I finished, he looked at Marcus, then at me. You walked into something bigger than you realize, he said. What do you mean? The organization your brother borrowed from. We've been investigating them for 2 years. They're sophisticated. They target professionals, doctors, lawyers, business owners who get into financial trouble. They lend money at impossible rates. Then, when people can't pay, they force them to help launder money or commit other crimes. So this is bigger than just Travis? Much bigger. Your brother is one of probably 30 people they have leverage over right now. We've been trying to build a case, but these people are careful. They don't leave evidence. They don't make mistakes. What does this mean for Emily? For our safety? Agent Strickland was quiet for a moment. I can offer you protection. We can put you in a safe house temporarily. But long term, the only way to be truly safe is to help us take them down. How? You go to that meeting tomorrow. You wear a wire. You get them talking. You get them to implicate themselves. We record it all. Then we move in and make arrests. Emily grabbed my hand. No, that's too dangerous. It's the fastest way to resolve this, Agent Strickland said gently. Otherwise, we continue our investigation, which could take months or years. And in that time, they know who you are. They know where you live. You'd be constantly looking over your shoulder. I looked at Emily. Her eyes were full of tears. I don't want you to do this, she said. I don't see another option. Marcus jumped in. What kind of protection can you offer during the meeting? We'll have agents nearby. Multiple surveillance points. The second anything goes wrong, we move in. How do you define wrong? I asked. If they pull a gun, is that wrong enough? Or do they have to shoot first? Agent Strickland's face was grim. We'll be listening to everything. We won't let it get that far. I thought about my child, growing inside Emily. Thought about the life we'd built, the life I'd worked so hard for. If I do this, what happens to Travis? He'll be arrested too. If he cooperated with them knowingly, he's part of the conspiracy. He's an addict. He's desperate. He's made terrible choices. But he's not a criminal. He endangered your pregnant wife to pressure you into paying his debts. That makes him a criminal in my book. I couldn't argue with that. What about my parents? If they didn't know about the criminal element, they're victims. We're not interested in charging them. I looked at Emily. What do you think? I think I'm terrified, but I also think this is the only way we get our life back. I turned to Agent Strickland. Okay, I'll do it. You're sure? No, but I'm doing it anyway. He pulled out paperwork. I need you to sign some forms. Acknowledge the risks. Give us permission to record. Standard procedure. I signed everything. We'll prep you tomorrow morning, Agent Strickland said. The wire is small, undetectable. We'll go over exactly what to say, what to ask. The goal is to get them to explicitly state what they want you to do and what the consequences are if you refuse. Then what? Then we arrest them. You and Emily go into protective custody for a few days until we round up the whole organization. After that, you're free. It sounded so simple when he said it like that. But I knew better. Nothing about this was simple. We left the federal building after midnight. Agent Strickland told us to get some sleep and meet him back there at 7 a.m. Sleep didn't come. Emily and I lay in the hotel bed, holding each other, staring at the ceiling. I love you, she whispered. I love you too. No matter what happens tomorrow, I want you to know that. Nothing's going to happen. The FBI will be right there. Promise me you'll be careful. I promise. But we both knew that was a promise I might not be able to keep. Morning came too fast. At 6:30, we got up. Nobody had slept. Emily's eyes were red. Angela had stayed with us all night, sleeping in the other bed. We drove to the federal building in silence. Agent Strickland was waiting with two other agents, a woman named Agent Park and a younger man named Agent Wilson. They took me into a preparation room. Emily had to wait outside. We're going to wire you up, Agent Park said. The device will be here. She indicated a spot on my chest. It's small, about the size of a quarter. Voice activated. We'll hear everything. Agent Wilson helped me put it on. It felt strange, foreign against my skin. Now, Agent Strickland sat across from me. Let's talk strategy. They're going to try to intimidate you. That's part of their process. Don't let them see fear. That's going to be difficult since I'm terrified. Use that. Let them think you're scared but willing. The goal is to get them talking. Ask questions. What exactly do they want you to hack? How much time do they give you? What happens after? The more detail they give, the better. What if they search me? Find the wire? These people are confident. They don't usually search. But if they do, we move in immediately. That's comforting. Agent Park leaned in. Joe, you don't have to do this. Say the word and we'll find another way. I thought about Emily, about our baby, about the life I wanted to give them. No, I'm doing this. They gave me an earpiece, nearly invisible. We'll be able to communicate with you. If you need help, just say the word red. That's our signal to move in. At 9:30, I left the federal building. The address they'd sent was a warehouse in the industrial district. 20 minutes away. I drove the Porsche. They'd expect that. The warehouse was old, brick, surrounded by chain-link fence. A few other cars were in the lot. One was a black SUV with tinted windows. I parked and sat for a moment, gathering courage. We're here. Agent Strickland's voice came through the earpiece. 3 surveillance points. We have eyes on you. You're not alone. I got out of the car, walked to the warehouse door. It was unlocked. Inside was dim, dusty, old equipment scattered around. And in the center, 3 men. One was clearly the leader. Maybe 60 years old, expensive suit, cold eyes. The other 2 were younger, muscle, enforcers. Mr. Joe. The leader smiled. I'm glad you came. I'm Garrett. You didn't give me much choice. There's always a choice. You made the right one. The 2 enforcers moved to flank me, cutting off my exit. Is this necessary? I gestured to them. Just a precaution. Can't be too careful these days. Garrett walked around me slowly. Your brother speaks highly of your skills. My brother speaks a lot. Garrett laughed. True. He does talk too much. That's part of his problem. What do you want from me? Direct. I like that. Garrett stopped in front of me. We have a business opportunity. A bank, small credit union, actually, has a security system we need accessed. Nothing major. Just create some false accounts for us. Move some money around. That's money laundering. Such ugly words. We prefer to think of it as financial redistribution. Get him to say more, Agent Strickland's voice whispered in my ear. How much money are we talking about? I asked. Does it matter? To me it does. Garrett considered this. 5 million initially. Could be more if you do good work. And what do I get out of this? Your brother's debt disappears. Your wife stays safe. You avoid any unfortunate accidents. That sounds like a threat. It's a guarantee. You help us, we help you. Everyone wins. What if I refuse? Garrett's smile disappeared. I thought we already covered this. Pregnant women are fragile. So many things can go wrong. Keep him talking, the voice in my ear urged. Who else have you done this with? I asked. How many others? That's not your concern. It is if I'm getting involved. I want to know what I'm stepping into. Garrett studied me. Then he nodded to one of the enforcers. Go check him. My heart stopped. The enforcer walked toward me, started patting me down. This was it. They'd find the wire. I'd be dead. His hands moved up my sides. To my chest. Red, I said clearly. Red. The warehouse doors exploded inward. FBI agents poured in from 3 entrances. Guns drawn. Federal agents. On the ground. Now. Everything happened fast. The enforcers reached for weapons. Agents tackled them. Garrett tried to run. Agent Wilson caught him, slammed him against a wall. Joe, down! Agent Park yelled. I hit the floor, covered my head. Gunfire, someone screamed. Then silence. Clear. Clear. All subjects secured. Hands helped me up. Agent Strickland. You okay? I nodded, couldn't speak. They had Garrett and the 2 enforcers in handcuffs. One enforcer had been shot in the leg, not life-threatening. Paramedics were already rushing in. You did good, Agent Strickland said. Really good. We got everything we needed. My legs felt like water. Can I go home now? Soon. We need to debrief. And we need to pick up your brother. Travis? He's part of this. He needs to be arrested. 20 minutes later, we were back at the federal building. Emily ran to me, hugged me so hard I couldn't breathe. I heard the gunshots over the wire, she sobbed. I thought you were dead. I'm okay. I'm here. We held each other while Agent Strickland made phone calls. An hour later, he came back. We have Travis in custody. Found him at his house. Also picked up 2 other members of the organization. This is going to bring down their whole operation. What happens to Travis? That's up to the prosecutor. But if he cooperates, testifies against them, he might get a reduced sentence. And my parents? They're not being charged. They were victims, too. Over the next week, the story came out in pieces. Garrett's organization had been operating for 5 years. 27 victims, all professionals in debt, millions of dollars laundered. Travis was facing federal conspiracy charges but agreed to cooperate. His lawyer negotiated a deal, 18 months in federal prison in exchange for testimony. My parents called me every day. I didn't answer. Finally, after a week, I agreed to meet them. One time, at a coffee shop, they looked broken. My father had aged 10 years. My mother couldn't stop crying. We're so sorry, she said. For everything. For the wedding, for favoring Travis, for all of it. We failed both of you, my father added. We thought we were helping Travis by giving him everything. Instead, We enabled him to never learn consequences. And you? My mother reached for my hand. You turned out strong and successful because you had to be. You didn't need us. I did need you, I said quietly. I just learned to live without you. Can you ever forgive us? My father asked. I thought about it, really thought about it. I'm not ready to forgive. Maybe someday. But right now, I can't. My mother nodded, tears streaming. But, I continued, I won't let you be homeless. I slid an envelope across the table. $50,000. A check. This isn't for Travis. It's for you. One time only. Use it to get settled. Find an apartment. Get stable. We don't deserve this, my father said. No, you don't. But I'm not you. I won't abandon family completely, even when they deserve it. I stood to leave. Wait, my mother said. Emily's pregnant? Yes. Can we meet the baby? When it comes? I considered this. One visit. After they're born. Then we'll see. Thank you, Joe. I had one more condition. No more enabling Travis. He faces his consequences. No bail money. No lawyer fees beyond what he already has. No commissary money. He needs to face what he's done. They agreed. I left the coffee shop feeling lighter somehow. Not forgiven, not forgotten, but free. 3 months passed. Travis was in federal prison. Courtney divorced him and moved back to her parents' house in Connecticut with the kids. The practice was sold to pay debts. He'd lost everything. Garrett and his organization went to trial. 19 people arrested in total. Garrett got 15 years. The others got various sentences. The FBI called me a hero. I didn't feel like one. Emily and I moved, sold the downtown loft, bought a house in the suburbs, 4 bedrooms, big backyard, good school district, somewhere safe to raise a family. I sold the Porsche too. Too many bad memories. Bought a practical Volvo SUV instead. Emily teased me about becoming a suburban dad. On a cold Tuesday in November, our son was born. 8 pounds, 3 ounces, perfect in every way. We named him Henry. My parents came to visit once, in the hospital. They held him for exactly 10 minutes while Emily and I watched. My mother cried. My father was silent. Then they left. They send cards now. Birthday cards, holiday cards. I don't respond, but I keep them. Maybe someday I'll show them to Henry. Maybe I'll tell him about his grandparents who only showed up when they needed something. Or maybe I'll tell him about the family we built instead. 6 months after Henry was born, we had a small party. Just close friends. Emily's parents, who'd flown in from Oregon. Her sister, Angela. Marcus and his girlfriend. A few nurses from the hospital. Some neighbors from our street. No one from my blood family, but the house was full of love. I stood in my kitchen, holding Henry, watching everyone laugh and talk. This was family. Not people who shared my DNA, but people who showed up. People who'd been there through everything. Marcus came over with 2 beers, handed me one. To surviving, he said. To more than surviving, I corrected. To actually living. We clinked bottles. Emily joined us, took Henry from my arms. Speech time, she announced. Everyone gathered in the living room. I stood by the fireplace, suddenly nervous. I just want to say thank you, I started. To everyone here. The past year has been the hardest of my life. But it's also shown me what really matters. I looked at Emily. You stood by me when I put us in danger with my stupid need to prove something to people who didn't care. You're the strongest person I know. I looked at Marcus. You dropped everything to help me. Multiple times. That's real friendship. I looked at Angela. You kept Emily safe when I couldn't. I'll never forget that. I looked at Emily's parents. You welcomed me into your family without hesitation. You were at our wedding when my own parents weren't. That meant everything. I picked up my beer. To the family we choose. To showing up. To being there when it counts. Everyone raised their glasses. Hear, hear. Later that night, after everyone left, I sat in Henry's nursery. He was asleep in his crib, tiny fists curled by his face. Emily stood in the doorway. What are you thinking about? She asked. About being a father. About doing it right. You will. How do you know? because you know exactly what not to do. You lived it. She was right. I leaned over Henry's crib, whispered to him even though he couldn't hear. I'll never make you earn my love. You already have it. I'll show up for you. Every school play, every birthday, every moment that matters. I'll be the father I needed. The one who's there, no matter what. Emily put her hand on my shoulder. He's lucky to have you. We're all lucky to have each other. That Instagram post changed everything. The Porsche, the money, all of it. But not the way my parents hoped. It didn't bring us together. It exposed who they really were. And in a strange way, it freed me. I learned that family isn't about blood. It's about who shows up. My parents showed up for money, not love. Emily showed up every day. Her family showed up. Marcus showed up. That's real family. I learned that success isn't about proving yourself to people who never believed in you. It's about building a life with people who already do. I spent so long trying to get my parents' approval. Turns out, I didn't need it. I learned that the best revenge isn't punishing people who hurt you. It's living well without them. My parents wanted me to bail them out. Instead, I bailed myself out of that toxic cycle. Travis thought he deserved everything handed to him. He learned the hard way that actions have consequences. Maybe in prison, he'll finally learn what I learned working 3 jobs through college. That nothing worth having comes easy. And I learned that sometimes the best gift someone can give you is showing you exactly who they are. My parents did that. They showed me they only valued me when I had something they needed. And knowing that, really knowing it, set me free. Because now I know exactly what kind of father not to be. I look at Henry sleeping peacefully, and I make him a silent promise. I'll be present. I'll be proud of him no matter what he achieves. I'll show up for his wedding. I'll be there for the big moments and the small ones. I'll love him unconditionally, the way parents should, the way mine never did, and that's okay now. Because I've built something better. A family that chooses each other. Every single day. That Porsche cost me $235,000, but it taught me something worth so much more. It taught me that love can't be bought, family can't be bought, respect can't be bought. Those things are earned through presence, through showing up, through being there when it matters. My parents never understood that, but I do, and I'll teach it to my son. Not through words, but through actions, by being there, by showing up, every single day. That's the real triumph. Not the money, not the car, not proving them wrong. The triumph is breaking the cycle. Being better. Choosing love over obligation. And as I stand here in my son's nursery, in the house I built with my own hands and my own work, surrounded by the family I chose, I realize something. I don't need my parents' approval anymore. I have something better. I have peace. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever had to set boundaries with family members who only reached out when they needed something? How did you handle it? Did you find a way to forgive, or did you choose to move forward without them? Share your story in the comments below. Your experience might help someone else going through something similar. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button. It helps more people find these stories and know they're not alone in their struggles. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. We share stories like this every week. Stories about real people facing real challenges and finding their way through. Share this video with someone who might need to hear it. Someone who's struggling with family expectations or feeling guilty for setting boundaries. Sometimes, we all need to be reminded that it's okay to choose ourselves, to choose peace, to choose the family that actually shows up. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for being here. I hope it gave you something to think about or maybe just made you feel a little less alone. Take care of yourself. Choose people who choose you. And remember, you don't owe anyone access to your life just because they're family. You deserve people who show up every single time.